thing. And I know it's the thing it is, but he's like, we go, where did this come from? Like,
But is that
gender reveal.
All right, so that's what the discussion right now is about, gender reveals. We've already had this discussion. Why are we revisiting? Just because it's fresher?
No, because I have to leave and take my sister-in-law to the appointment.
You have to take her there.
It's
Yeah,
a boy.
so I get the
There was
envelope,
some
and she don't
party.
know.
And she doesn't know.
She won't know until Saturday.
That is crazy.
Because I have to party, and then they'll reveal.
You know, if that was me, I'd be like knocking you down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'd have you have a couple. Tell me what it is. If you knew and I didn't know.
All right.
God, and you know what? I met her, and she's the type of girl that would stay quiet about it.
Well,
So listen, let me ask you a question. You're not old enough to be like when I was born.
I'm older than.
When I was born, they used to keep the mother in the hospital for 5 to 7 days.
Yeah,
oh, now they let you out.
Now you're
for a
going
day.
the next day.
I know. Well, I had C-section, so I was in there for 3 days, and I wasn't ready to come out. I
Was
was
too
still not
comfortable?
feeling good. No, I was like,
Well, you were liking the meds.
well, yeah,
I'm gonna
they
just
were.
lay here
They were.
and be numb on painkillers and
Why
watch
would you think I'd like
and
them?
watch my soaps.
No, I was stitched up to the mats, having a 10-pound, 7-ounce baby, your payroll person.
Is that why he can't comb his hair?
I don't know. Let's talk to him about that.
No, he's been keeping himself nice, getting haircuts.
This
though.
guy, Bobby, when he'd go out years ago, he'd put 2 hours, he'd have 2 hours when we were all living together, picking out a shirt. I don't know what happened to him. How about the shoe tying? That bothers me the most.
What?
He won't tie his shoes.
That's why I buy shoes that just slip on.
I can't stand that.
I know.
If I listen, okay, so I'm the old fat white guy thing, right?
I'm going to the
For me to tie my shoes, I have to sit on the bed, like to the side, and pull my leg up on the bed, like this.
What do you have out now?
They're slip-ons.
Oh, okay.
It's getting closer, though, to me having the surgery I need so that I can start to exercise, so that I stop getting fatter. At least let's at least slow that down. I can't walk for a long period of time.
Me neither.
You know.
I know.
So today is what?
Martin Luther King.
Yes.
I had a dream.
So, and here's my frustration, my concern for us as a people, not groups, but all together.
Not as Republicans or Democrats.
Well, it has something to do with them to some extent, both sides, is how it's supposed to be, we're supposed to be judging each other on our content of character. But yet, more and more, and you know this has been my beef for a while, is how everybody is getting separated and put into classes
Yeah.
and put into groups. And then, you know, you have somebody that wants power say, oh, you're this group, but you know what? This group hates you, so I'm going to be your advocate, right? To pump themselves up. So more and more, instead of just not even the color of the skin, now you have all of these minority classes, because the more you break people apart into groups, into classes, the more people then you have to help them with their oppression, let's say. When it's in fact you, that politician, that is bringing about that division instead of unity.
And it's worse than ever.
It's worse than ever.
In my 64 years of living, this is the worst I've seen it.
And I
And
think,
I lived through Nixon.
and
I
the
lived
thing
through,
is this,
Clinton and all
See the
that.
cookies I ordered?
You know,
they got so good at it.
It was never
They got
gonna
so
stop.
good at it,
Oh.
that division, that now people want the label. What happened with "Don't Label Me"?
Could you imagine how long, and it won't be probably in our lifetime, till this works itself out to get back to, you know, like, maybe the 70s it wasn't like that. The early 70s.
You know, and I like to and
90s even.
And I like to make light of it at times, but then people will say, "Oh, you hate because you're making light of it." Well,
but don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, you have to. I mean, you don't even know what language to use anymore.
Exactly.
You can't.
Politically correct.
It's just too far gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what to
you
do
have to
about
watch
it,
what you say, how you say it.
Actually, did you see that commercial that's on about like AIDS or HIV? And what is it? Two colored men kissing. Why aren't people freaking out about that commercial? I just
But we can't. We shouldn't.
No, but people will. Just like there was that big controversy of that woman in the Peloton commercial.
I know.
Well, that was
What
pretty
is going
funny.
on with this crazy world?
That was pretty funny, though. Oh, my husband makes me ride this bicycle.
I know. That was like, gag me. Keep it on. Like, why was that a
The
problem?
one now is driving me. And why do they have to play the same ones over and over again? Now it's the guy singing with the headphones on real
And
bad.
the kid hears it and runs
So it's
in.
like, the
Isn't
poor
it how
kid.
you look at it?
Here you go. I look at it this way. Here's the dad too busy riding a bike to help the kid with his homework.
The way I looked at it's how you look at the commercial. That Peloton commercial, I looked at it like, this guy was nice enough. Maybe she likes to work out. Maybe it's her fun time or it's her relaxation time. Who looks at it like it's an insult?
I
didn't
look at
it like that.
I don't look at it at all. I just go,
And the
oh,
girl
I like
was
that
as skinny
bike.
as could be. That was in the commercial. She was. I mean, I didn't look at it like it was offensive at all.
The world's gone crazy.
I don't get it. How somebody could
Did
look
you-
at
I
that.
thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Did you listen to that thing I sent you? My dog's a
It was
Democrat.
hilarious.
Oh yeah, I've
Hi,
seen that
Dolly.
before though.
Oh, I
It was
didn't know
hilarious.
that. My mechanic sent me that.
She's calling me a clone sheep.
Clone sheep.
One day I just called her Dolly out of nowhere. I don't know.
Wasn't Dolly
It's
the
a joke
first clone?
Dolly,
sheep?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hello,
Dolly.
Dolly.
Don't sing
Well,
that like that.
hello,
Otherwise,
Dolly. So listen. So that song just reminded me of when I got beat as a kid
Beat up?
by my dad. Rightly so.
I don't mean to laugh, but really? That's
Yeah, we actually.
Well,
got
here it
beat
is,
by our
right?
parents.
So what's that song from?
I don't know.
Hello, Dolly.
Okay. Let's
Okay.
go back to that. I got the crap beat out of me. You probably got. You can't beat your kid anymore. If I beat my
No.
kids, I did anyway.
Well, anyway, this is what
I
happened.
don't
My
even-
dad had gotten tickets to take us all to see the show.
What show was that?
Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly. Oh,
So-
okay.
I didn't want to go. And look, back then I was into musicals. I sang in choirs. I sang all these songs, but I didn't want to go. I had something else I wanted to do. I was probably 9 or 10, whatever.
Knee high to a grasshopper.
So I ran into the woods and hid. And I stayed in the woods until I knew it was too late for us to go to the show and went home.
I'm not surprised.
I was a bad kid.
Yeah. You were probably a handful.
I was a bad kid.
You were a handful.
All right, so we're talking about Martin Luther King birthday, MLK Day. And I already talked about all the stupid
should
classes.
we have it off? We should have it off today.
Yeah. Does it headquarters?
Sure.
So, okay, so then we talked about the classes and how people separate people so that they might have power over them. And the other issue that I have, and this is pretty much the reason why I am more of I lean more on the conservative side, is because I've seen both sides. And it's in regards to the fact that I had papers that I could collect SSDI for the rest of my life when I was 30, and I chose not to. So, and it wasn't until years after that I was able to look back at that. But I think people don't realize, and a lot of the guys in the program do this, and they look to get SSDI or SSI or welfare or whatever. But you don't realize that when you do so, you're giving up your independence. You're giving up your freedom. You're becoming dependent upon someone else. And in this sense, in the form of a government that likes to grow. And in order for that government to grow, they need dependence. You get what I'm saying here?
Yes, I do.
But
And what happens when it ends?
but
You
the
know, like
thing
you have
is,
said, like
is,
Trump cutting the food stamps.
it's
Well, there's people
Not
that
it's a good or a
listen.
bad
There's
thing, it's
people
just
that
what
need.
about the people that are
But
There's people that need, and rightly so, and they should,
Have that
on a temporary
option.
basis. The problem is once you become used to that,
Dependent.
you become dependent.
right.
well, I bring this up in one of my classes. It's like as an addict, right? We call it a chemical predisposition. That sometimes we are raised that it is socially acceptable. Well, there are people who are raised saying that the system is socially acceptable too, and that they're going to do whatever they can to get on
Yeah,
it.
to get it,
And it's because their father did it. And
but
their
they don't
father-
realize
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's just causing
generational.
right.
Yes,
It's holding them
absolutely.
down.
Oh, big
They
time.
think I'm getting over, and I'm going to get this money whether I deserve it or not. But in reality,
It's holding you back.
it's what holds
Oh,
them
yeah.
back. There's no way if I would have taken that money at age 30, if I was still breathing, there's no way I'd be doing what I do. I wouldn't be, you know what I mean?
I know exactly
I'd still
what
be
you mean.
sitting on the couch,
That's-
being
Yeah.
dependent upon the government, watching
I
reruns.
wouldn't be able to
Well,
stand
that's
it.
why I bring it up in
Really,
the class, because I
honestly,
explained to them,
you
like
know
you said,
me.
we're worth more
I
than
can't.
that.
There's-
God gave us a gift, and that we should be using that
There's
gift.
nothing more empowering than having a sense of worth, having a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah,
During the
exactly.
day, you go home and you lay your head on the pillow, knowing that you not only were able to be productive, but to
Help someone.
raise the money needed for your family or whatever else. I don't know. It just that drives me crazy. It's like the government is, it's. I see more evil than I see good in big government. That's just all there is to it, and people that grow. Let's say, okay, so when I was somewhere else, and we had guys that were getting food stamps, right? Well, it was a card, EBD card, whatever it was, and we called up DHS and said, "Don't give them this. They don't need this. The only thing they need is health care. Don't give them this." And we were told by the supervisor of DHS in that state that there's no way they're going to stop giving it to them because that'll cut back on their budget. So next year they won't have as much money. And I'm like, well, that's a good thing.
Well,
Wow.
in this area, I don't know if it's nationwide, but I know this area predominantly. If you're getting medical assistance, they won't give you food stamps if they know they're living in a center. But if you're on Social Security, they won't cut your food stamps while you're living in the center.
And
even if you tell them you're living there and your food's provided,
if
they won't
somebody
cut them.
is in a program and they're collecting because they have a family back home,
right.
they have a house or a mortgage or rent that has to get paid, food for their family that's needed, that's a good thing that they keep collecting. Hopefully, and it's always been my goal to keep people out of the system or even take them back out of the system once they're in it. Show somebody that they have worth, that they can be productive, that they can participate in society, that they could be their own master, let's say, instead of becoming dependent upon someone else.
Now, I mentioned this to your wife yesterday. Two things that our center's getting known for throughout different regions.
I heard it.
So she told you?
What?
'Cause it's-
And we're not going to bring that up because I'm still having my face pod.
Okay, but I'm just saying, I know that because some of the intakes.
Well, we have to again, and
Let me know,
I'm
I'm
going
out
to.
there. Let
This
me
is
know
going to
what it
be.
is.
This is going to be
Working on-
my
working for
next.
this.
What?
Let me know what it is. I'm out here working for it.
All right.
You said you didn't want to talk about it.
All right, so we're going to sign off because we're starting to
Yeah.
touch on pretty sensitive topics. Too sensitive for my face pod.
Hey, girl.
Nice
Hello.
shirt.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Say goodbye. Bye.
Bye.